Hello, chat. Sorry, I forgot to unmute the mic. Welcome to today's stream. Today is going to be a very chill day because I've got like one day left before work. So yeah, tomorrow will be a different time start time. Yes, put all the old sevens inside chat. This is the final stream that we're ever going to have this entire. No, I'm just saying it's not the final stream, but stream schedule will change. So usual stream start time, which is plus or minus 1 hour, will now be exactly 5 hours after. Um, so whatever time we usually start, if I wasn't late, would now be 5 hours later. That's when we'll start now. So just be aware. Just be aware of that. The stream is not going anywhere. It's not really dying or anything. It's just I need to be responsible on some level because I finally got the contract, which is good. So I'm making a cool 7,200 for this first month. It's kind of low, like TBH as a contract. That's a very low ball value, but I kind of wasn't like really like up in arms about it because it's a very easy contract. Like in terms of raw effort, I can probably finish it within a week. Realistically, I can probably finish it within a week. So for 3 weeks of the month, I'll be coasting. So look at it as a 7,200 stimulus for like a week of work, and maybe like 3 weeks of very low level grind coasting, which actually gives me time to edit things and like do it and like do other stuff. So it's nice. The other thing as well is that because it's a smaller contract, just to see if we like each other. I don't mind the cost of convenience for them when it's meant to be almost like a courting phase for like a month versus when I'm actually like stuck in there deep. Because if I got stock options and stuff, or like I had other incentives that forced me to stay in deep, I would also command a higher pay. So 7,200 I think roughly works out to 90k a year. So just under six figures for this like contract. But for like a one-off contract that has like realistically like a week or two of work and like 2 to 3 weeks of just like hanging out and meetings and making sure that nothing blows up, it's pretty good. Most contracts for like a week or something would probably pay significantly less. If you look at like Fiverr or something, even for the top dudes, you're probably looking at maybe 500 per hour, billable for like 20 hours max. I don't know, it's like 500 times 20. Yeah, you're looking at like 10,000 for the top dudes, anyways. So it's like it's roughly within line. And that's for like the dudes who like really overcharge on like Fiverr. So 500 is like San Francisco prices, which is very hard to swing in like in Canada. So it'll be good. Plus minus question mark. Whenever was it minus? Okay, listen. There was one time when it was minus because I woke up early and I was too excited to not play the game, and that was for Remnant 2. Um, After that, yeah, you're right, but I hate that you're right. You know what I mean? Like I hate that you're right. So yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, it's the way that it goes. Yeah, it's the way that it goes. So yeah, expect the stream time to change. The duration again, as a reminder, will go down to maybe. I'm actually in the wrong category. I'm sorry. Sandbox viewers are probably waiting for me to go into Sandbox, but there's always a just chatting segment first. But the stream duration will be going down a bit as well. So as I mentioned before, it won't be 7 or 8 hour streams anymore on the average. It'll be like 5 or 6 average now. And that may even be lower depending on what the day is like, depending on when I get to start. It's not the worst loss ever because it's like 5 to 6 is a good time to stop anyways, but you will notice the duration change. Some days I will, and I'll be going to like a 4 day stream schedule, 5 day. It really depends on when my wife and I want to hang out more or like less. So we'll see how it goes. There even may be weeks where I stream like once a week. Realistically, like nothing's changing. That's how I stream today. Like the way that I stream now is like sometimes you don't see me for like a week, and then I come back and I give you like a Final Fantasy 14 speed run to Mahjong, right? Like you win and you lose, right? You win and you lose. So on average, you're just normal. It's good. There's some other news to talk about today. Some very sad news, actually. Two major pillars of the community have passed away. I talk about the community in terms of like a general sense, but these two people have been very influential in many people's lives. And I mentioned one of them during the Final Fantasy 14 segment, but the history of this person, what they've been doing for their particular community, is very like massive as well. The first one is Rachel Lillis. She was the voice actor of Jessie and Misty, probably like most famously from Pokemon. If you don't know Pokemon, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I feel like you're probably living under a rock. But Pokemon is probably the most famous show there is at the moment. Maybe only eclipsed by like Game of Thrones in terms of like I guess adult. Well, I don't even know. I guess like Pokemon is like the most famous show. Besides like Seinfeld, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard to like tell because everyone that I talk to knows about Pokemon, but also I know people like me, so it's like we're kind of weird, right? But her voice acting was very very pivotal and a very very large source of I guess joy in my life because again that the Brock Misty Ash arc was the one that I sort of like grew up on. So I saw Ash's like beginning of his journey all the way through to the Brock and Misty section. You saw, Jesse and James hanging out, Team Rocket blasting off again, and I mean and all the weird like stuff that they do. It's her voice and the way that she acted these characters was so good, especially for Jesse. I think she added a lot of personality to Jesse such that I preferred the dub always over the sub, just for Jesse as well as like the other main characters and villains. I thought it was a perfect performance for who she was, and it was that right amount of like sassy and like fiery and also like comedy. It was the perfect amount of comedy too. It was so good the way that her voice came through. So it's a shame she passed away very very recently. I think it was even like what it was like last 1 to 2 or 3 days ago, right? It's pretty recent. So rest in peace. There was also the owner of Furaffinity, Dragoneer. So again, I make jokes about furries, but that's because like I respect them. I respect them a lot. I'm primarily making fun of the people who like make fun of them by going for the lowbrow stuff. But it's hard. I don't do that anymore because like it was really hard to explain to the new viewers. Like no. Like the reason why it started was because like there was a lot of furries in this like chat, and so we just started making fun of the people who were making fun of like them, and it was like hard to like maintain that level of context because new people would like join, and then they would be like, but why? But Fur Affinity was sort of the site that everyone went to get their furry fix, right? It's effectively the only community out there that really was an open space for anybody to take part in the furry community and sort of like learn what it is, even interact with other members of the community who would then sort of make content for it. It's basically like the DeviantArt of like furry stuff. But actually, no, it's not even like the DeviantArt. I think DeviantArt is like too lowbrow for it. It's higher brow than that. It's probably closer to like concept art for like furry stuff. Conceptart.org for like furry stuff. And it was a very huge community. The owner of that site sold it to I think 2015 in 2015 to IMVU. IMVU is a very very old platform. I mean, I can pull up what they are now even here, so I can sort of show you. I have the Wikipedia pages for like both, but IMVU is a very interesting site to say the least. They're probably one of the largest social media networks out there that isn't your traditional social media network. Basically, think of Second Life, but like full on 3D avatars. And this was huge back then. Like I can't even explain to you like how huge IMVU was. IMVU for a very long time was a massive experience. For a very very long time. And last I heard, they still are. I think. Yeah, 2014 they had approximately 6 million active players. They used to have the largest virtual goods sort of like catalog. So a lot of the initial work on like selling online goods and building like a secondary sort of like virtual space for people to hang on was done by both at the time IMVU as well as Second Life, which is another such service. So I can actually pull up Second Life as well. Still open, by the way. Still on. Obviously, I can't play it. Second Life is actually banned on thing as well as IMVU on the Twitch, but just to sort of show you what these sites are and like what they are as like a rundown of what these services are, right? It's a very interesting sort of model. Basically, it's what the crypto bros imagine the like metaverse is today, but what it actually was back then was this. And during the pandemic, they did a very publicized shift towards like a business alternative, and nobody in business looks like this. This is your average software engineer. No, your average software engineer is not wearing this like tie suit every day. They're 100% in their chair. They've got a hole in their boxer, in their shirt. They've got a hole in their pants. It's all falling apart. But IMVU was very, very what's the term? what's the term? Capricious, very capricious with the way that they behaved. Very often they would buy out competitors in the space. So it just, in general, they just buy out various other social media sites and then extinguish them very quickly. Why is it banned? Is it very not safe for work? No, it's because of two reasons. One was because of the harassment that the users faced. So a lot of people used to do like, the Omegle trolling stuff where they go on Omegle and do these calls. Omegle has like a larger team that was able to sort of like deal with it. Well, not really a larger team, but they were like, it was different in the way that you could like monitor it because there was no anonymous barrier between you and the other person, right? Like it was very easy to like find you. Whereas on Second Life, like people would just go on stream, troll them, and then it would be like a whole mess. So one reason was like the whole trolling aspect. The Second Life community was being harassed like a lot. Two, it was not safe for work. Yeah. So it wasn't just the trolling thing, but it was also not safe for work. What they show here is a very, very filtered look at what Second Life was. For many, many people, Second Life was like the ERP's like channel, like the ERP place to go. It's this is like very early internet history. So like before Final Fantasy 14 and Limsa Lominsa, which I will say the park bench blowjob, while that was really funny, was extremely weak when you consider what goes on in Second Life. But Second Life was sort of more than that anyways. I mean, Second Life, there's even like talk shows on Second Life where people go on, do like talk shows. You sell assets, so all these pieces of like clothing someone modeled and it's like selling. So it's banned because of a lot of those like reasons. So just be aware if you're a streamer and you go and play this, you can't play this. I can talk about it as like a, part of this discussion, but I can't play it. But back to the IMVU thing, they were very capricious with the sites that they used to like buy in or like acquire very often, and they actually acquired Furaffinity at some point. And apparently, from what I heard from third-party sources, as well as from what I like read online, the online they mentioned it got bad, but the third-party sources that I talked to, they were like, no, it got really bad. They were like, it was going downhill like really fast compared to what they were like really used to. So they felt like they were losing almost their second home, right? Because again, a lot of people think of online spaces as almost, your Google or your Amazon. You go there for a purpose to conduct some capitalistic transaction, and then you stop and you leave, right? But a lot of the online space was built as a community for people who enjoy that particular activity. I mean, Twitch is a perfect example, right? Every person here is effectively running their mini community. It's very weird to think of it like that, but I think that's the best explanation that I can think of for why sites like Furaffinity, why sites like IMVU, why sites like Second Life exist. Because there's going to be a large amount of people who go to Twitch and then they go, why would you go on Furaffinity? Like, that's so cringe. But then their parents are going, why would you go on Twitch? That's so cringe. It's like, like, buddy, we're all the same. There's no difference between you and them. You know what I mean? Like, we're all the same over here, right? So what the owner of Furaffinity did was they actually went back to buy Furaffinity back from IMVU with his personal money. What an absolute chad to like do that, to maintain a level of I guess like benevolent ownership over. Well, it's called a BDFO, which is like a benevolent dictator for life, for the site, because he recognized that it was going downhill. Fortunately, he passed away recently as well. I think last week due to health issues. So he wasn't even able to sort of get onto finding healthcare, right? He was stuck on this waiting list forever. That's just how it goes in like America or something. Just anywhere that doesn't have free healthcare, that's usually how it goes. Is you kind of just wait for like as long as the system makes you, and then if you die, this it's just a cost. It's a cost that the system would rather absorb than like treating you. So unfortunately, right now I think the site is currently in like kind of a limbo state. I've heard some rumblings, depending on which way it goes. I won't talk about them because it's rumblings. It's not anything confirmed yet, but I think people are still trying to figure out what to do with the site in terms of the ownership and taking care of it. But hopefully, it stays alive forever because it's really, again, it's one of the few spaces where you can be free to be you there. And hopefully, we'll see some level of ownership that continues on the legacy and the level of care that was put up forward by Dragoneer. So we'll see how it goes, and it will take a while too, right? Like it's switching over communities like this will take probably years, like maybe even like a a good like close to 5 to 10 years, but before we really understand the impact of it. It's very hard to see the effects of ownership changes unless they're really bad, like what IMVU did initially. So yeah, very sad news, but also very interesting to sort of see how these sort of spheres happen. It's always a reminder that like tomorrow, like the things that we do could disappear very, very quickly, right? So even something like Twitch. I mean, Twitch is very much, I think, run based on a level of goodwill, based on what the benefactors of it say, right? I mean, Twitch is a huge, it's a money burn for like Amazon. Same with YouTube. YouTube is a huge money sink for Google, and I think for a very long time they were in the red for Alphabet, and then only recently have they been able to recoup costs. Only very recently, with a lot of very newer changes that have been very painful to say the least. So we'll see how it goes, but just be aware that like these platforms live and die by the people that are on them, by the people who run them, and then by how resistant they are to the usual capitalistic cycle of like acquire, sell off, burn, extinguish. So just be aware of that. How's my sandwich? My sandwich was good. Very, very good. We're gonna move on to the sandbox now, because we also are trying to finish a game today. So thank you for showing up today. This is your resident sleeper moment. I just wanted to give a call out to those two communities because it's a very sad thing that's happened. And I think those two communities are very like maligned most of the time. Well, I mean, the Furaffinity community is like the fur community is very maligned, and then like Pokemon and anime in like general is like a very niche topic, and so it's sad to see these like old titans sort of pass on. So S ampersand witch. Okay, well listen, no one says S. No one calls it. No one says ampersand. Everyone says and. If you say ampersand, then you're just being academic to be pedantic. Yeah, you like that word? You academic person. As well, if you do go to IMVU and Second Life, don't say I sent you, because I'll get banned off Twitch. Like I'm not even kidding you. So please don't do that. Just and also don't stream these games because you can't stream them on like Twitch. So, but yeah, now you know what these are. We're gonna move on to music really quickly. It's a song that I wanted to play yesterday, but as you know, yesterday was a pretty intense moment of until then. We finished the entire game. I'm very happy about how the game goes. I won't talk about it because of spoilers. You know my thoughts in the video, and I was gonna maybe add more to the end of it, but I was like, I think it ended well enough, and I think I'd be rambling at the point. So, that game was fantastic, but it also means that we didn't get to finish every single song that I had yesterday. And this song is a song that continues this train that I've been on, this very enjoyable train. I really, really enjoy what's going on here. Again, I've been on this like bend of Radiohead, and I don't know why. I think I'm connecting with my very, ancient ancestors, because my family's really into rock, and like my family's full of musicians. Like everybody's into rock. I think I'm connecting with my ancestors on some level, because for some reason like this just pops up in my head, and then I this idea of I have to listen to them, and then I keep listening to them, and then I just can't stop. It's so good. This next song comes from their album. I think it was Dex Dark, something like that. I'm pretty sure it's like Radiohead Dex Dark. I think that's the name of the album, or if that's the name of the song, I can't tell. Sorry, the album is named A Moon-Shaped Pool. Dex Dark is a song on the album. I always get those confused, because like Dex Dark is the one song that's very, very recognizable from this album. A song called Daydreaming. It's a very interesting song. The song, I mean, I read the comments on the video for the song that was like so perfect. Tom York is the only dude who can make us like a 6, 7, 8 minute song about a single idea and drag it out for as long as he can and add as much detail as he can to this one single idea, lyrically and like compositionally. And I was like, well, there's more to Radiohead than Tommy York, but like, you know what I mean? It makes sense when you really listen to it. It's like, yeah, it's like a single idea that he drills on over and over and over about, but it doesn't make it bad. That's almost exactly what you want from this stuff. It makes it so good. It's that constant, reiteration and constant evolution on the concept that feels almost like trance-like. It feels very rhythmic. It feels like you're in like a, again, like a chant. It's the same sort of like tool that's used in religious chanting. So please enjoy some Daydreaming by Radiohead. The music video for the song really captures a particular feeling that's weird. You ever get those dreams where you try to recall what's happening? or you try to pay attention to what's going on, and you're somewhat aware, but you're also like unaware of what's going on, and you keep shifting and morphing between these like different zones and all these different places. And nothing really feels real. Everything feels like it blends together into like a soup, like a physical soup of just madness brought to life, and the world around you, and the architecture, the things that you walk on. I often have dreams of things like I'll be in like a shop in a weird alleyway, over in some reminiscent but not really distinct or not really recognizable Asian country. It's just sort of like my imagination's idea of what an Asian back alley is, based on the ones that I've been to, and based on sort of my image of them through media. And then I'll be sort of in the shop, looking at some electronic supplies for some reason. I don't know why. I'm looking at like circuit boards and keychains. Then there'll be a bed in the corner. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll sit down on the bed. Then somebody says, hey, do you want bubble tea? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I ask for some bubble tea. I'll wait. And then all of a sudden, the entire alleyway goes empty, and I'm just left with buildings, just buildings upon buildings. And I've been there before, so it's like I know my way through. But I go through these different like vistas and landscapes, and it feels so strange. Um, that's the music video kind of captures that same feeling of like, what the fuck is going on, and it's fascinating. It's very, very fascinating. All of the music is always very, very fascinating, and again, very, very surprisingly easy to sort of get like lost in. If anything, they do a very, really good job of converting the feeling that you would have based on the concept of the song, based on the theme of the song, into a visual sort of like soundscape that then puts you into that theme. It's very hard to explain, but I think that's the best way to describe it. They're very good at building a set piece that forces you through this like sort of like strange world. As you know, I've been on the bend of them, but we'll eventually get off this bend and go on to something else. I'm sort of going through like older music that I really enjoyed when I was younger. A lot of my music comes from my family's tastes, from my friends' tastes. We used to have like a Linkin Park, like, CD and stuff, like just lying around. We used to have a bunch of Radiohead ones. We used to have like a bunch of like just random, like Bolero ones, like just like lying around all the way from like everywhere, from every single place. So you're gonna see a large mix of music coming up soon, as I try to sort of explore these concepts back again to sort of like, I guess like reach back and see like why did I like these things. So hopefully you enjoy. We're gonna be moving on to Sandbox now. Give me a moment to set things up. It's a bit of a dual monitor like situation, and the drum and bass will be coming back. So don't worry, the silence will end, and you won't be left with just my voice. I too find it strange. By the way, a lot of people have been commenting on my voice. It's I begin to understand the uncomfortableness of it, but also, sorry, I'm so gassy. It makes sense because like all I am is a voice. To most people in their head, especially for most things that I play, I'm just a voice. BRB. An ad will play, by the way, as I set things up, because I actually don't know how long the setup will be, because I kind of undid the setup last time because I was experimenting with some other ways of doing it, and it didn't really work. So, thank you, non-subs. Your sacrifices will not be in vain. By the way, I actually realized that like the pinned message for the ad doesn't make any sense because my sub viewers don't get to see ads. Only the non-subs do. So it's like the sub viewers don't lose brain cells, the unsubbed ones do. But it's too late to change it, and I think it's funny as like a bot message of like, oh yeah, I just posted that, and it's like, yeah, it sounds stupid. So it's good enough. I'll just leave it like that for now. Now we have sandwich. I'm gone for today. Tomorrow, because I start work, means that stream times will be at 10 p.m. UTC. So whatever stream time normally would be, at least I try to be like 5 p.m. UTC. It's now 5 hours later because I usually start stream in the middle of the workday, which no longer works because I've got a work contract and they can sue me. So thank you all for showing up to the stream. The streams will still be the same content as always. Still be all sorts of fun. It's just just think of it as like, daddy's got to go earn some money from his workplace to make sure all the children, well, not the children. You're all like over the age of like 20, 25. We're all old here, but right? Most of you are older than me actually. But let's just say like, other like I'm like, like you're big daddy and I'm daddy, okay? Daddy has to go to work, make some money, come back home, and I'll come back home with some cool toys, like a Nerf gun, or like, a couple copies of like new Steam games, like a Steam gift card. I don't know. Okay, it'd be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, again, we start later and we go a bit longer. Well, it's really gonna be the first test day of like, can I handle the schedule? And if I can't, I'll readjust over the weeks to come. But it should be fine. Just it sucks for some of you, but again, the VODs will always be uploaded the night of, so you'll never be behind on a VOD. Tomorrow we're playing Super Scout. We're gonna finish that game because we never finished it last time. Super Scout being that weird dating sim game that we started. That's a chat found. Again, it's weird how many FMV dating sims there are. So when I get my first paycheck, it's all going to go towards FMV dating sims, which is, it's going to be a really weird look because I'm paying for other women, but let's see how it goes. Thank you all for showing up. Appreciate you all. Don't get too parasocial. Keep an eye on the Discord as well. By next week, there'll be some more events. Slowly trickle in as well. Community co-op events will be by the end of this month, if not the end of next month. I'm still trying to figure out how the work is going to go. It's really going to depend on how busy I am at work. And then more collab stuff very soon. I just need to get over this work hurdle, this over socialization hurdle, and then we'll see from there. Have a good night. See you all. Have a good time. And again, please don't feel any pressure if you can't make the new stream time. Okay, I've said this before. If you can't make the new new stream time, that's perfectly fine because there's no pressure to. Right? I'm very big on you should do the things that you want to do, and not the things that I tell you to do. So again, no pressure. There's no need to follow or anything or whatever. If you can't make it, the VODs will always be there for you. And I'm making money to keep doing this for longer because it's kind of fun. It's really fun. So, bye everyone. I'm out. Peace out. Most of you who are probably gone. There's a lot of you who fell asleep. So I don't really blame you. Good night.